Another thing that's bad is deceptive pricing. And anybody who has a cell phone bill will understand this. And this is where you intentionally mislead customers about what they're actually going to pay for the product. One of the common deceptive pricing is something called bait and switch. And bait and switch is where you advertise a particular product at a very low price in order to encourage traffic to your store. But then when the customer gets to the store, the product's not available, but I have one that's almost as good for a slightly higher price. So I use a low price to get you into the store, refuse to sell to you at that price, and then try to switch you to a higher priced product. That's wrong. Bait and switch is usually regulated at the state level. There's no federal regulation that directly talks about bait and switch. And the defense against a bait and switch when you're doing it, because when we talk about loss leader pricing, there are times when you want to offer a very low price in order to encourage people to come to your store so that you can sell them other things. That's totally legitimate. And kind of the defense against bait and switch is, and you see this at Black Thursday, right? What's the thing that they always put on for the $99 TVs? Yeah, while quantities last, minimum 1,000 per store, but you just make it clear up front that quantities are limited, but you have to sell those 1,000 units. You can't say quantities are limited, we don't have any. But the idea is that's a legitimate promotion, is a very low price. We call that a loss leader, and then make it clear that quantities are limited, first come, first served. Yes?
Many non-Americans consider the tax not included to be deceptive pricing.
So many non-Americans figure tax not included to be deceptive pricing because, wait a minute, that's... and many Americans find their cell phone bills. And I just had this conversation, I forget who it was with, but like with travel sites, is because the travel industry is very price competitive, there's a tendency to have a very low list price and then have hidden add-ons. And one of the value that many of the travel sites offer is they'll show you the actual cost you're going to pay rather than the list cost. And then there's the resort fee, there's the safe fee, there's the security fee, there's the gas added tax, and if you want clean towels, that will be extra. Another kind of misleading pricing is reference pricing. And this is where you are promoting a price that's higher than the actual price and pretending to give a discount off of the price. So if I say 50% off, then I need to be able to show that I sold a certain amount of merchandise at the full price, and then I can say 50% off is 50% off. But I can't just say 50% off. And what's common is the defense against that kind of deceptive pricing or reference pricing is just simply to name the reference. 50% off comparable models. 50% off manufacturer's suggested retail price. So I'm not pretending that I sold something at that price. I'm saying that as a reference, this is a value. One of the benefits that manufacturers in the consumer section can do is establish a high manufacturer suggested retail price, which allows retailers who buy from you to offer a discount. So for example, if I am selling potato chips, I might print a price of $3 on the bag and then slash it 69 cents so it looks like it's a great deal when it was just 69 cents. Yes, comment. So talking about, I used to sell mattresses at Sears back when Sears used to sell stuff. And the mattresses would have an astronomically high, unbelievable manufacturer. It suggests, MSRP $6,000 reduced to $59.95. And the reason that works is anchoring and adjustment. Because even though it's a totally ridiculous price when you say $5,000, $600 is a lot cheaper than that. It just You know what I mean? Even if it's you discount it, it still sets the anchor. They believe it. You know, if P.T. Barnum used to say, "There's one born every minute, and two to take him." Another kind of bad pricing is predatory pricing. And this is where you set your prices below your cost with the intention of putting a competitor out of business. And this is very hard to prove because you not only have to prove that the prices were below your cost, but the intent was to put a competitor out of business. So typically what would have to happen, for example, if I had a coffee shop and I was selling coffee at $5 a cup, and a competitor opened up across the street, and the day that my competitor opened, my price of coffee went down to $2 a cup, and it stayed $2 a cup until the competitor went out of business, and the day the competitor went out of business, it went back up to $6 a cup. That would be predatory pricing, but I would have to show, one, that the consumers were harmed. If I just brought the price back up to the original selling price, that wouldn't be predatory. But if I charged more after the competitor went out of business than I did before, then clearly the intent was to get more money out of customers than I otherwise would have. So this is very difficult to prove, just because you have to prove intent, and then you have to show that there was economic harm. Questions about the law? Ignorance of the law is no excuse. Ignorance on multiple choice tests will hurt your grade.